Ananda approached the Buddha beneath the Bodhi tree, his expression marked by a deep worry he could not conceal. "Master," he said, bowing low, "I feel restless in my relationship. Joy has turned to tedium, and I feel lost." The Buddha, serene and calm as always, observed Ananda with a patient gaze that invited him to speak more. At first, Ananda continued. Her presence was captivating, her laughter enchanting. Now, her charms fade, and I am overwhelmed by apathy. Observe this truth: actions that nurture, support, and respect speak louder than spoken words of affection or promise. The Buddha then asked, "Have you ever heard of the merchant Surya and his wife, Lila?" Ananda nodded slightly, intrigued by the mention of names unfamiliar to him, ready to absorb the wisdom unfolding. The Buddha continued, "Surya claimed he loved Lila deeply, yet when she fell gravely ill, he abandoned her. Surya sought comfort in pleasures elsewhere, leaving her in isolation to face her suffering and vulnerability alone. His words professed love, yet his actions revealed a heart consumed with selfishness and hollow affections." But now listen, Ananda, to the tale of the humble farmer named Jaya, and his sickly neighbor. Jaya, though with few resources and no bond of kinship, cared for his ill neighbor with steadfast devotion and humility. He brought food, tended wounds, and stayed by their side despite the hardships he bore himself daily. Not once did Jaya seek gratitude or proclaim words of love, but his actions spoke of truth and purity. The Buddha paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle in Ananda's reflective mind. "Let us explore this further," he said. Standing and gesturing for Ananda to follow, they walked in silence, the sound of their footsteps blending with the rustling leaves and the whispering wind. Ask yourself, does their care remain steadfast when challenges arise? Or do they falter when difficulties loom? Ananda, observe the harmony between their words and actions. Therein you will find the truth of their love. The grove seemed to hum with an almost sacred energy as Ananda processed the wisdom imparted by his teacher. "But Master," Ananda hesitated, "what if actions and words seem unclear, entangled in confusion and uncertainty?" The Buddha's eyes glowed softly with understanding as he prepared to offer clarity to his disciples' lingering concerns. "Ananda," he said with patience, "actions born of love are steady, consistent, and compassionate, regardless of external circumstances. Confusion often stems from expectations that are misaligned with the simple truth that love acts rather than demands. Test this, Ananda, by allowing vulnerability to invite your partner's response without fear or hesitation. A relationship, Ananda, is like this stone," the Buddha said, his voice tinged with quiet wisdom and reassurance. "It is not static, and it requires effort, patience, and acceptance to shape it into something enduring and meaningful," he continued. Ananda bowed deeply, his doubts dissipating into the peace instilled by his teacher's wisdom and unyielding compassion. The Buddha's words lingered in the air, rooted in truth and simplicity. As the disciple rose to depart, "Remember, Ananda, that love, like the lotus, blooms with purity even in the muddiest waters of doubt. Only when you see beyond the surface and witness its actions, you will truly understand its essence." Another day, Ananda returned to the grove, his mind clearer yet curious, his steps deliberate beneath the canopy of ancient trees. "Master," Ananda began, bowing before the Buddha, his voice steady but filled with questions about his partner's love and actions. The Buddha acknowledged him, his calm presence inviting peace, his gaze steady as he prepared to share wisdom anew. "Ananda," said the Buddha, "true love withstands tests, revealing its strength and sincerity in moments of trial and hardship. Allow me to share a story about a prince named Dhira and his wife, Princess Maya, a tale of love tested, Dhira was noble and brave. His love for Maya proclaimed with heartfelt words and grand gestures that dazzled the court. Maya adored Dhira, reciprocating his affection with kindness and laughter that filled their home with warmth and harmony. One fateful year, the kingdom faced dire famine. The harvests lost, and prosperity turned into desolation and hunger. Remember, Ananda, it is resistance to change that causes suffering, not change itself. Embrace each moment fully, and you shall discover the beauty that lies in impermanence and the journey of connection, he concluded. She prepared meals from scraps, tended to the sick, and stood by Dhira even when he faltered in his duties. Her actions were steadfast, unyielding to adversity, and her love remained a source of strength in turbulent times. Master, Ananda said, bowing low, I have tried to accept impermanence, yet my heart remains restless and uncertain. The Buddha observed Ananda carefully, his gaze calm, as though weighing the words unsaid as much as those spoken. Ananda listened deeply, his mind reflecting on his own experience with his partner, their care during his recent illness. Master, Ananda spoke, when I fell ill, my partner cared for me tirelessly, their actions revealing love in quiet devotion. The Buddha brought Ananda to a small workshop where a sculptor was chipping away at a block of marble. The sculptor paused briefly, wiping sweat from his brow, and resumed work, his chisel striking the stone with deliberate precision. Remember, he said, love that is unselfish, unwavering, and compassionate transforms challenges into opportunities for growth and connection. Ananda bowed, his appreciation for the Buddha's teachings reflected in his calm demeanor and newfound clarity. Ananda watched intently, noting how fragments of marble fell away, revealing shapes and contours that were previously hidden. Does the sculptor despair over the imperfections within the stone, or does he embrace the process? The Buddha asked softly, just as true love endures, your actions of care and kindness will resonate with those who cherish you in return. Ananda rose, his gratitude apparent, his thoughts filled with the wisdom shared during their time in the sacred grove. Just so, the Buddha said, a relationship, Ananda, requires the same patience, the same willingness to shape and be shaped. Allow room for imperfections, for the human heart is fallible yet capable of profound resilience and redemption. Observe whether the love that falters is accompanied by actions seeking to restore balance and harmony through understanding and care. It is not in rushing but in persistence that the stone reveals its beauty. Ananda frowned, his doubts persisting. But, Master, what if the stone itself resists transformation? What then can be done? The Buddha gestured toward the unchiseled portion of the marble. Resistance does not negate possibility. Ananda, only when love transcends fleeting weakness does it reveal its enduring power and capacity for connection and compassion. Ananda departed with renewed purpose, the wisdom of his teacher guiding his thoughts and actions as he sought deeper understanding. Ananda's shoulders relaxed slightly, though his heart remained troubled. Does this mean relationships are effort without guaranteed reward? He asked earnestly. All of life is like the sculpture's work. Ananda, the Buddha said, the reward is not guaranteed but the effort itself is meaningful. Love, when untainted by attachment, becomes a force of transformation, freeing the heart from the chains of selfish desires. Let me share a tale, said the Buddha, of two travelers, Arun and Leela, who wandered through a barren wilderness. Arun loved Leela dearly, professing devotion, yet his love was bound by fear and the need for her constant presence. Leela cared deeply for Arun, but her love sought his happiness, even at the cost of her own comfort. One day, as they walked, they came across a child crying beside a dried riverbed. Weak and alone, Leela immediately offered her water and food to the child. despite her exhaustion and their uncertain journey ahead. What if boredom returns? Master? Ananda asked hesitantly. Can acceptance alone prevent suffering from recurring again and again? The recurrence of boredom is like the river's endless flow. Ananda, the Buddha said. You cannot stop it, but you can flow. To flow is to embrace impermanence. To recognize that even tedium carries opportunities for growth, discovery, and renewal, the Buddha continued. Ananda nodded slowly, sensing the contours of understanding but still feeling the weight of his doubts pressing against his thoughts. The Buddha paused, allowing the story's essence to resonate deeply within Ananda's reflective thoughts and compassionate heart. Ananda, the Buddha continued. Love that is inclusive and selfless transcends the boundaries of fear, attachment, and need. The journey of transformation is not measured by speed but by persistence and intention, the Buddha explained, his voice serene. Ananda lowered his gaze, absorbing the metaphor but feeling the slow burn of resistance within his own heart and mind. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.